You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host Nesbit, and June 2nd of this past year, Jarvis Leatherby of Night Demon hosted a new wave of British heavy metal themed radio show on Gimme Metal. So Gimme Metal is a free online radio station that plays metal 24 hours a day, and the cool thing about it is, opposed to, a shitty Spotify playlist, this station is curated by a real human DJ at all times. So it's not an algorithm that's trying to push certain things on you based on what you've clicked on or whatever you've listened to in the past. It's a real person actually broadcasting a metal show at all times. So it's pretty cool that way. This is from their website. It says, Gimme Radio is a streaming radio station hosted by hand-selected DJs who pick all the music we play, who live and breathe metal, who are just as metal obsessed as us. And unlike some online music services, Gimme Radio doesn't play shitty audio ads. Gimme Radio is putting your passion for music front and center. So, when Jarvis was asked by Gimme Metal to host a 2-hour radio show, he, of course, said yes. He couldn't wait to play some of his favorite tracks, and he also took it as an opportunity to promote some rarer, lesser-known tracks by bands that his record label Iron Grip promotes. So a lot of these bands have, limited edition vinyl and cassette releases that have been reissued on his label, remastered by Night Demon's Armand John Anthony in most cases. And on this radio show, it's another way for Night Demon to promote, keep alive some of this rare music, metal that would maybe fall between the cracks and get forgotten about. So after this episode, if you're interested in any of this music, you can check out theheavymetalstore.com. And in the meantime, here's Jarvis Leatherby on Gimme Metal Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Iron Grip special here on Gimme Radio. I'm your host, Jarvis Leatherby. What you just heard was the song Ritual by my band Night Demon. That's off our self-titled EP from 2013. That will give you just a small taste of the classic heavy metal that we're going to be playing today. So, for those of you who do not know, Iron Grip is a management company / record company that I started. While each and every one of the bands that I manage are currently signed to either a major label or a larger independent heavy metal label, I've really lost interest in licensing out some of the back catalog for these bands or rare recordings to other labels who really don't do much for the music but just kind of sell it online. So, you don't really need a record company to do that. Any independent band can sell things online. So really what I wanted to kind of do is just start my own record company here for the sole purpose of releasing music that my bands actually own. So with that and the addition of doing a lot of reissues this past year, it's been a really fucking fun thing for me. Originally, I started this out as a cassette label. I haven't, just an old love for cassettes. I've just loved them since I was a kid. They're just so unique. They're so individual. No two cassettes are alike. It's a mechanical beast. It actually has moving parts inside of it. So when you think about it, it really makes the music alive. I still love vinyl, and even the CD format I still like. And of course, digital, everything is so convenient. I mean, we're doing this here on digital radio, which is fucking awesome. But the analog form is still something that's very close to my heart and something that I wanted to keep alive. So anyway, I digress. With the whole cassette thing, I actually started reissuing a lot of albums and a lot of titles that I really love. I've been fortunate enough to be able to put out some of my favorite records this year, and I've got a lot more coming up. So what we're going to do here today on this radio special is I'm going to play for you some select tracks of stuff that I've released already on Iron Grip and stuff that's coming up that I haven't even fucking announced yet. So this is going to be fucking awesome. And I will say that most of the music you're going to hear today is not available on your traditional digital streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Pandora, even YouTube. I've had a lot of this music taken off of YouTube. So I'm not saying that this stuff won't be up there. Eventually, I'm sure all of this will be up there. But for the time being, you're going to be able to hear this here, and you're going to be able to buy it from Bandcamp. So as we go through this show, I'll mention what's available where, and hopefully you guys can go out and support the label and support the bands. All right? So here we fucking go. Okay, so we already heard Night Demon. Next up, another band that I play in. Look, I know, I'm not only the president, I'm also a client. So, Cirith Ungol. I am so fortunate enough to play bass in this band. We have 4 guys from the old school lineup, plus me. God, I'm lucky. These guys started out in 1972. If you don't know them, well, maybe you should do some metal history. But these guys are fucking classic. We have a new EP called Half Past Human that just came out. These songs on this EP are reimagined. So basically, reimagined for the current day. These are songs that these guys wrote in the 70s that nobody really ever heard. And it was just so much fun to go back and dig through these old tapes and find these songs and go, man, if we recorded these songs today, what would they sound like? And here it is. Here we go. First track you're going to hear from this is Brutish, Manchild.
Down the path to obstinate.
Brutish Manchild. I love that fucking track. That was definitely my vote to go on the EP. I'm really glad that those guys backed me up and we're totally down to do that. That song also did come out previously, a different version that was mixed and mastered by Arthur Rizek. It came out as a Flexi 7-inch from Decibel Magazine back in 2020. We gave them that as an exclusive when the Forever Black record came out, and we just decided, man, it was just too good to leave off the EP. So we have a new mix here from Armand John Anthony from Night Demon, who did this record. So there you have it. That's a fucking awesome track. I really fucking love that song. This record came out last week. It's titled Half Past Human, and Metal Blade put it out on all formats. Iron Grip released it on a cassette. So if you go to the heavymetalstore.com, you can go to Cirith Ungol's merch store in there, and you can pick up all formats. We have all formats available there. So go check it out. That's the only place that you can get all of them. Up next, this is one of my top 10 favorite bands of all time. The fact that I'm able to release a record by these guys, I mean, it's just one of those dream moments. And so here's the deal. I will be reissuing this album on cassette only this year. I don't know when. It's in production now, but I don't really like to do pre-order stuff. When the stuff's available, I like to get it out to you guys immediately. Instant grat society, right? That's the short attention span society we're living in these days. Anyway, I won't keep you waiting anymore. Without further ado, one of my favorite records of all time by one of my all-time favorite bands. This song is called Gorgon, and it's from the band Angel Witch off their self-titled debut, Angel Witch.
Don't look her in the eyes. Oh, you turn
Oh my God. Get some Angel Witch in your life, please, ladies and gentlemen. Gorgon, what a great fucking song. I love that clean intro. It fades in so eerily and then just kicks in. Total fucking rock, kick your ass. Up next, let's get some new blood in here. Haunt from Fresno, California. I was so happy to be able to put out this latest record. It's called Beautiful Distraction. I did this with Trevor William Church, the main man from Haunt. He plays all the instruments on the records, well, mostly, and I think he played everything on this record for sure. Really great to work with. You know, it's cool to work with your friends, and it's cool to work with like-minded people. And bands like Night Demon, bands like Haunt, bands like this that are keeping the old school alive, but putting a fresh new spin on it. And these are the kinds of people that I enjoy being around and doing stuff with. So again, very, very high honor for me to be a part of this latest record, Beautiful Distraction from Haunt. Let's check out this track. This song is called In Our Dreams. Haunt, In Our Dreams. What a great fucking track. I'm glad that we chose that as one of the singles. I really like that song. You know, Haunt's a band that puts out a lot of records. These guys, well, this guy, I should say, Trevor William Church, I mean, I think last year he did 3 records. And this year I kind of wanted, since I was working with him, to just slow it down just a bit and focus on making this record really good. I mean, they're all really good records, but there's something really special about this record, and especially about that song. The title track, Beautiful Distraction, was also a great single and pretty catchy song, but this song, In Our Dreams, I just really connect with, so I hope you guys like that. If you guys would like to pre-order the vinyl for Beautiful Distraction, we do have some splatter vinyl still available for pre-order at irongripheavymetal.com. That's irongripheavymetal.com. Get you some haunt. Next up, Mythra, Death and Destiny. Guys, this is one of the greatest new wave of British heavy metal bands of all time, hailing from Newcastle, England. This is definitely one of my favorite new wave of British heavy metal EPs. This track we're going to hear, Death and Destiny, is the title track. Do yourself a favor. Listen, I mean, I could be here all day talking about just this EP. It's that fucking good. I think everybody needs to know about this. Iron Grip will be releasing this record. We're going to reissue it. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but basically there were a few EPs and demos with this band early in the early days, and that's really it. They've come out on different compilations already, so I think what we're probably going to do, what I'd like to do and what the band would like to do, shout out to John Roach. Amazing guy. John Roach from Mythra also played in the legendary band Fist. But he and I have been talking, and I think what we're probably going to do is do some kind of like a triple vinyl 7-inch release. And of course, the Death and Destiny EP is going to be the flagship of that. But, you know, again, I can go on and on. Don't listen to me anymore. Here it is, one of the greatest new wave of British heavy metal songs of all time, Death and Destiny.
Move it!
Mythra, Death and Destiny. Fuck yes. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm really looking forward to reissuing that on vinyl. Been working really closely with the guys in the band, so we'll keep you posted on that. For now, let's stick with the new wave of British heavy metal theme. This next band is another band that I've had the fortune of actually playing with. I've served as their live vocalist since I think 2017. And, until the pandemic hit, it was pretty cool. We were going around the world doing gigs in France, England, even brought this band to the US for the first time for Frost and Fire 3, which is a festival that Night Demon runs. So anyway, it's natural that I wanted to reissue a record by not only one of my favorite bands, but a band that I'm also involved with. So here it is. The reissue's coming out. I'm going to break the news here right now. Jaguar's Power Games. Their 1983 record, which hands down is the best record the band's ever done. At least it's the most classic. So we've got this thing coming out on cassette, limited to 500. I think we've got 4 different colors. That's going to hit in July, I believe. We'll keep you posted on all that too. Always head over to irongritheavymetal.com to check that stuff out. So anyway, just a real quick story. The first time I ever played with the band, I met them at a festival. I never met them before, but it was arranged that I was going to go sing for them. So Night Demon had just finished a tour in Mexico with Skullfist. We fly back from Mexico to LA. The band leaves the airport. I pretty much stay there and just fly right to London. The band Jaguar is from Bristol. So Gary Pepper, the guitar player, the original member in the band, he came to pick me up, but we got our date screwed up. So he drove all that way and I wasn't there for the next day. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, I meet the rest of the band. We play the gig. And I basically met the drummer on stage and it was very punk rock. And the show went great. And to this day, we have never rehearsed once. And that's what I like. And that's what I love about this band. This band is so punk rock and they really bring that energy into heavy metal, much like Iron Maiden did back in the day. And I know Gary will appreciate that because I think he saw Maiden when they were a 4-piece. So anyway, without further ado, one of my very, very favorite songs of all time and probably my favorite song on this record. Here it is, Jaguar with Prisoner.
You got the power to set me
That was Jaguar with their song Prisoner from the 1983 record Power Games. So yeah, again, guys, we're going to be releasing this sometime this summer. I think we're going to do 500 cassettes on 4 different colors, some special t-shirts for this. We've got LPs coming in from High Roller Records in Germany. They did a repress of this. There's going to be a 7-inch included in that. We've got a Digipack CD version. All kinds of stuff happening with the reissue of Power Games. I'm really fucking excited about that. Okay, back to some new blood. This was the first band that I actually ever managed. We were friends. Night Demon was on tour a lot at that time. And whenever we came through Salt Lake City, they were pretty much the only heavy metal band that exists there. I think they're probably the only heavy metal band that ever existed in Salt Lake. But a great group of guys and a great fucking band. And I'm talking about Visigoth, guys. So the track I'm going to play here is a song called Call of the Road. This is off their debut EP, Final Spell. The only other place you can hear this is on the band's Bandcamp page. So if you like what you hear, please go there, purchase it, support the band directly. We do have cassette versions of this at irongripheavymetal.com and also at the heavymetalstore.com. So if you like what you hear, please pick one up. This song is very cool. Visigoth is a kind of epic, power metal-y kind of band. This song is way more of a rock and roll song, and it's just a great song about fucking touring. It's just, everything is hard rock and metal about this. Fucking get into it. Visigoth, Call of the Road. Visigoth, Call of the Road. What a great fucking song, man. Boy, do I fucking miss being out on the road. That song just says it all to me. It brings it all back to me. For a guy like me who's been touring so much in the past decade, this pandemic has really hit fucking hard. So I really feel bad for all the other musicians out there, not just losing your gig. You know, like we're all out of a fucking job, right? That fucking sucks. But I mean, just, you know, most of us do this for just pure enjoyment because this is what we do. This is who we are. It's not a way to get rich. If that was the motivation, we would have become fucking accountants or something fucking boring like that. But anyway, I digress. That's a whole nother conversation. Thank you for that song, Visigoth. So next up, here's something really fucking cool. So here's another exclusive here that I'm going to break because this hasn't been announced either. Later on this year, Iron Grip is reissuing the Armored Saint Classic Symbol of Salvation. Now, this record just turned 30 years old this year, okay? So we're going to reissue it on cassette, total Iron Grip style. But what we're doing is we're doing a double cassette. So not only are we doing the full-length record on cassette, mastered the way that you heard it when it came out, but we are also doing the demos with it. And that is fucking so cool. For me personally, I mean, to hear those demos, the first time I heard them, I was just blown away because there's such great production on the record. But to hear the demos in a lesser quality and just a stripped down form, you really get a feel of how great these fucking songs are. So you're going to get the classic album as is on a cassette and the demo tape with it, the demo cassette. So this is one of the things I'm most excited about releasing this year. I think it's a really interesting concept. So anyway, here we go. Without further ado, here's the demo of one of my favorite songs on this record, Last Train. Wow, how about that, huh? How often do you hear demo tapes on the radio? Maybe back then, maybe if you were a band from LA back in 1990, back around the time that this album came out, you would maybe get lucky, send them a demo tape and have it played on the local show or something. But anyway, it's just great here to be able to play the Armored Saint demo for Last Train Home. Fucking sick.
All right, so that's part one of Jarvis Leatherby on Gimme Metal Radio. And next week we'll have the second hour and more classic metal tracks. But in the meantime, if you're interested in these tracks, you can check out the subscriber section on nightdemon.net, where you can stream this playlist on demand, and also the heavymetalstore.com. You can find merch and physical product for a lot of these bands and rare releases from Cirith Ungol, Satan, Visigoth, Midnight, Fate's Warning, Angel Witch, and a lot more. That's the heavymetalstore.com. Until next week, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host the Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at metalforgeradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time, all the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.